What's going on here? Mic check? Where's Lee? Looking all around here, waiting on him in this sun. It's like him always to be late, trying to figure it out. Actually, that's always me, but whenever you're looking for Lee, oh, there he is. We found him out there doing everything.
Cindy, I was over there checking out the kids, the Easter egg hunt. All the beautiful kids filing in, as you can see over there. And then when you know, like when you're a celebrity like me, it's hard for me to get through a crowd. I have to do some autographs and stuff.
Knows you. They gotta say hi.
Yeah, I try to have time for all the people. In fact, that's how I met you, by having time for the people. You get to see me behind the scenes. You know I'm pretty intense, and I take my time on what I do. And one of the things that I feel real great about is that putting my energy behind Cindy Banyai for Congress, District 19, which is right here where she is. She's in the community. Her opponent is not here. This is at the Dunbar Easter Parade after party festival out here amongst the people. Thousands of people out here, but Cindy is here shaking hands. Cindy, you got a chance to ride in the 2022 Dunbar Easter Parade that just concluded. Tell us about the experience connecting with the people.
Oh, it was just so amazing. I just love the energy of connecting with the people. You know, I'm a mom. I had my kids out there handing out candy. I had my megaphone. I was telling everybody, look, I'm running for Congress. I'm a mom just like you. And it was just great to connect with everyone in our community.
Now, you were in a convertible car?
Yes.
Yep,
had a convertible.
Were you able to touch the people still? You got out, shook some hands, or you stayed in?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in there and helping and talking. Some people were asking me about what I believe in. It was really great.
You're so good with connecting with everyday common people. Talk about your commitment to connecting with our everyday common people.
Well, I'm a regular person too. I'm not one of these people that's got, you know, a trust fund and a bank account, you know, full of dollars. You know, I just decided that I wanted our government to work, and I studied it, and I wanted to be something that we're proud of. And so I decided to run because I was tired of regular folks getting overlooked and nobody talking about what it's like to be a mom or what it's like to be running a small business where you're the only employee, because we're the ones that are left out of all this important legislation and these dollars that the government is handing out. So I wanted to be somebody that goes to Washington, D.C. and advocates for people like me and my family.
You are a proud Democrat. Why?
Because I think right now the Democrats have the best policies for people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of crazy rhetoric going on the right, and I just think that it's taken us down the wrong path. It's depriving us of our democracy. And so I am fighting to make policies that work for us, and the Democrats are the ones who are doing that.
You have a history of the Dunbar Easter Parade.
Yep.
You understand why we have this Easter Parade in the minority community and the discrimination that took place back in 1940. Talk about that and how that goes totally against your philosophy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very shameful to think that the history of this wonderful, beautiful parade goes back out of necessity because folks were left out of other festivities in our region. I'm so happy that it's a beautiful, vibrant part of our community now, but I really am heartbroken when I think about how folks in our community are left behind. So when I'm in Washington, D.C., I'm going to make sure that every piece of legislation coming across my desk has that equity lens, and that I am looking at things from a systems perspective to make sure that there's nobody left behind. Outstanding.
Cindy, you have your big three. I know one of them is the dwindling, as you called it in your great perspective. Yes, this is Cindy from perspective that you hear on the radio and on television, is the dwindling of women's rights in the state of Florida. Speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately for us in Florida, the 15-week abortion ban was just signed by the governor, and it's not just about babies and health care. It's about privacy and making difficult medical decisions and being able to do so without the ridicule and judgment of people around you. And so this bill that was signed is bad politics because it creates women it treats women as second-class citizens in this state. It erodes our rights and our constitutional right to privacy, and that is something we should all be worried about.
What is your other part of your other big three?
So I am fighting for our water, our health, and our community. Those are my top three issues.
When you say health, how does that break down as it relates to a congressperson?
Well, you know, we have an epidemic of medical bankruptcy in this country, and I was somebody who was affected by that. My family was on the verge of bankruptcy, and a lot of people said I should declare bankruptcy, and it had a lot to do with severe problems within my family, as well as with my young daughter and her rare blood disease. And I believe that no American family should go bankrupt trying to save the ones that they love. So I am going to be fighting in the U.S. House of Representatives to ensure that everybody has access to medical care that's affordable for them.
Mm-hmm. The housing has impacted you right now. The rapid increase in rents in your district. Is there a way that a politician, particularly a congressperson, can influence these high prices for rents that are taking place right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Rent inflation and inflation of all kinds is really hurting the pocketbook of everyday Americans, that's for sure. And myself, I was caught up in that. I was renting a house and the landlord decided to sell. It's a good time to sell, so I understand that. But it's really hard for families who are renting, and that's 35% of us out there. And the prices are through the roof. It's $2,300 on average for a 3-bedroom right now in Lee County. And that's well beyond what's capable and sustainable for most families. And so in Congress, what we can do is make sure that we're providing additional funds to subsidize folks and making sure that we are helping local communities understand how they can best use their land, so that we're not just having luxury houses, but there are places for regular folks and low-income folks and middle-income folks too.
Economy and a society is built on the backbone of everyday working class people. If we don't have working class people able to live in our communities, how does that do in terms of our economy and our community in general when we displace all the people?
Well, you know, there's a lot of folks right now that work in the retail and hospitality industry right now. Those folks are, you know, they're working class folks, and they're making a lower income than a lot of folks.
Restaurants,
yeah, restaurants and hotels. And if they can't find a place to live, they're going to find another place to live is what it comes down to. So you can expect those hotels and restaurants to close down, and a lot of people not be able to get the basic services that they need. So we really need diversity in the workforce. We need people who are working in the hotels. We need accountants. We need professors. We need everybody in between to have a healthy economy for everyone to be able to meet their needs and their goals.
The idea of all races, all creeds, all religions, everybody being brought along in the economy, in the participating in the American dream, that's near and dear to you. Talk about that.
Yeah, we have a situation right now where women make less money for their time. We have people of color making less money for their time compared to white men, essentially. And that's a historic preference that has been going on in this country for a long time. And we need to break down the systems that keep those folks back. We need to stop taking out women's maternity leave and the time they spend with their child in their career advancement. We have to stop underestimating the capabilities and the ingenuity of our communities of color, because they have not been the default as they have been in the past. That everybody has just as much ability to be a productive and innovative part of a company and a business. And women fall into that too. So we have to stop and understand some of those biases that hold us back. And unfortunately, there's a huge attack on that from folks on the far right when they call it things like CRT.
Mm-hmm. Now we have a primary election that's coming up August 23rd. You are running on the Democrat, right?
Yep.
Tell people how this works. Right now in the primary, you would run against a Democratic opponent, and then if you win that, then you move on to the general election?
Yep, that's correct. So,
do you have an opponent right now?
I do not have an opponent right now. So we have the primary election is August 23rd. Check out your voting registration and status at lee.vote. And make sure that you update your signature and sign up for vote by mail, just in case you don't have time to get to the polls. You can still vote. That's a really important thing. But yes, so the primary, the Democrats are going to be running against Democrats, Republicans are running against Republicans, but nonpartisan folks, so your city council, your school board, they are all on the ballot. So even if you're not registered with the party, you got to vote on August 23rd. That's something that everybody needs to keep in mind. And then the big election that finalizes everything is November 8th.
Now, how can people connect to Cindy Banyai for Congress? What are some different ways they can connect to you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Cindy_Banyai_Florida on Twitter. That's where the hot conversation happens. And you can find me, Dr. Cindy Banyai, for Congress on Facebook, and then check out my website, cindybanyai.com. I'd love to have your support.
There's a lot of stuff going on over there on Twitter, huh?
Oh, man. I get picked up by national media all the time because I've got those hot takes.
Lee Pitts has got to start tweeting.
Lee Pitts is not on Twitter.
I'm on there. I got a page, a couple of accounts, but I got to start tweeting. But because of what I do, it's just not something that I'm out there screaming to the rooftop on. But we'll go over there, and I just need to get into a certain group chats so I'll know more about what's going on in a certain category. Because it just seems like everything all wide open. All right, don't get into my lack of tweeting, but I got a TV show. And I got a radio show.
He does.
And that is my tweet right here. See them in person, handle a few questions, catch them out in the community with a lot of music playing in the background, all types of food all around here in the community. Cindy Banyai. Cindy Banyai, would you take 30 seconds, look into that camera, and make your final plea to vote for you on August 23rd?
That's right. So I'm Dr. Cindy Banyai, Democratic candidate for U.S. House of Representatives, Florida 19. I'm a mom and small business owner fighting for our water, our health, and our community. And I am here to create a Southwest Florida where the sun shines on everyone. Thank you.